You are watching a YouTube video for the champions of the Under-23 Premier League Division 2 Leeds United Youth Pod for the Roaring Peacock podcast. That was a mouthful. Leave comments in the comment boxes below what you want us to talk about over the summer, because the football's almost finished. We won the league at a canter. We've still got a few games left to play, but not a great deal to talk about over the summer. So leave us some comments, what you want us to talk about, who you want us to profile, who you think we should sign to play in the Under-23s and stuff like that. Let's get on with the show.
The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions.
Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast.
Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Youth Podcast. It's finally happened. We are the champions. We're going up. We're going up to play with the bigger boys. Although somehow Blackburn are second in the Premier League one. Not quite sure if they count as the bigger boys, but we'll find out next year how good they are. But yes, I'm your host, Ross, and with me as ever is Rob.
Hello.
And Matty.
Hello, everybody.
We did it, boys.
We did it.
Quite easy then, wasn't it, really?
Only a matter of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just we just needed that final result to come, and yeah, I like that Stoke got the draw. Was it the day before? A couple of days before?
Yeah, on the Friday, wasn't it? No, the Monday.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
Monday.
So we had to go and get at least a point. Just seeing the boys, the celebrations at full time after we beat Villa 2-1. Charlie Crosser got sent off, and it was a good game, really good game, Friday evening. And I think maybe our highest viewer figures of the season on YouTube and Twitter and everything. It was packed. Should have been in the stadium, really, shouldn't it? Always deserve that.
Yeah, it's a shame that obviously we didn't get to see it in person, but to follow it all season has been good. And like I say, it was only a matter of time. And yeah. I am glad, like you touched on, Ross, I'm glad we managed to wrap it up ourselves. It just wouldn't, and obviously it would have still been a great achievement if Stoke had dropped points and done it for us. But yeah, I think all the players, I think Mark Jackson said that he wanted to do it himself. The boys wanted to do it themselves and have that moment where you finish the game and you all celebrate together.
Yeah.
So
it was cracking.
Great stuff. Obviously, great achievement, and really, really looking forward to next season. Obviously, we have got 2 games still to go. I wouldn't expect a drop in performance. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. But from a pride point of view and how well they've done, you want to finish with another 2 wins. And is it 17 out of 22 wins or something like that? So to finish,
we've won 17.
To finish on 19 out of 24 wins.
Incredible.
It's ridiculous. It's an unbelievable record.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders above everybody else in the division. There's been a couple of tight games, a couple of, I thought Reading were a good team. Crystal Palace obviously beat us. They're a good team. Newcastle gave us 2 good games. But, really a class above everybody else. And I don't think anyone would dispute that. They're worthy winners and the right champions.
Yeah, unlike the first team, most of these lads can't be hung over for the next game anyway, legally. So they should be all right.
They can't drink anyway, so we should be good.
Rob, what do you make of the Villa game? It got a bit tasty at the end with the red card, and then they pulled one back.
Yeah, it was a good game of football, wasn't it? I think with the expectations that were on the shoulders of like the pressure, I know we've won 17 out of 22, but they've still got to go out and do it, haven't they? Yeah. And they did that, so that you can't dispute it. The quality was still there. I think 85% passing accuracy, 507 complete passes, 62% possession. So the tail of the tape is very much what we'd seen in other games. I think it just felt a little bit closer than it actually was because of the red, because they got the goal back and the scoreline obviously been 2-1. But overall, another amazing performance, and congratulations to Mark Jackson, who becomes the first manager in the club's history to win the league with both the 18s and the 23s.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I love that timeline. Was it LUFC Data that did like a timeline since he joined the club?
Yes.
Basically won something, or either got a job promotion or won a title almost every single year since he joined the club. So
Jesus Christ.
Obviously,
do you want to know an interesting stat? Do you know who else has done that since? The only other player to do something like that every year, like Jackson, or from that I could see, Ollie Casey. Oh, wow. So 17-18 PDL North with the 18s, 18-19 PDL North with the 23s, 19-20 the championship, obviously, and the 2021 with the PL2 Division 2 champion. So Ollie Casey is similar to Jacko.
Yeah, he's been with Mark for a long time, hasn't he? So that obviously makes sense. He's good, actually a really good lad is Ollie. I think he's been one of the most consistent players, especially over the second half of the season where he's had a real run in the team and kind of reformed that partnership with Creswell that he had in the 18s. Yeah. He's probably the most underrated member of the squad, I'd say. He got a lot of stick after the Crawley game, which is probably, for those that don't watch the 23s, it's probably all they know him by.
Yeah.
But he's been phenomenal. That block at the end of the Villa game where Capriel made the first save, that block is absolutely unbelievable. So a little shout out to Ollie because he's been really, really good, especially second half of the season. Defensively, obviously, we've been quite strong all year. I don't know the stats, but I don't think we've not kept that many clean sheets, have we? Conceded the odd goal now and again.
Conceded 26 in 22. That's
still good.
That's pretty good.
We've still got a goal difference of plus 30.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? And that's with Kiko playing some games as well. Not even Capri winning goal for most of the season. So let's just put all the blame on him for that. But yeah, they've been fantastic all across the field. And like you say, mate, Casey, he got a lot of stick after that Crawley game, but he was one of the least to blame for that performance. It was the first team exactly. As well. So yeah, to lump it all on the shoulders.
Still crazy that people criticised him after that, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Fans can be critical, can't they? And
yeah, we've watched them all season.
Yeah, of course, but to not let that get to him shows a good mentality. Obviously, got a good head on his shoulders, good relationship with Jacko. So yeah, obviously, he's been excellent. And
it's built on solid foundations.
It was a great game.
I think you got Capri has played 17 games in goal, and you've got Casey and Creswell 19 and 20 games each, and Drame's got 19 games at right back. It's just kind of whoever's played left back has been the odd man out, but those three have been there with Capri as well, been there all season. Really, it's good that they've built partnerships already.
Yeah. And I think
we spoke about
Drama's in the under-20s, isn't he? I was going to say about an England link, but I think Drama's in a different age group to Creswell, isn't he?
Yeah. Is that right?
But yeah.
I was going to say it's nice to see. It's nice to see that the recognition that was received. I mean, widely praised, not just from our own fans, but the guard of honour from the first 11 when they came in amazing. the next day. And I read something really kind of interesting from Patrick Bamford. I think it was on Leeds Live, where he'd mentioned that it shouldn't be underestimated. Something that we talk about each week, obviously, which is the fact that they drop down squads and up squads at a regular basis. But Patrick mentioned that even during training, if the first 11 need extra, basically spare lads to do ball drills or pick up the pieces, they'll be training over on the other pitches. They'll get called across for literally 10 to 15 minutes, do a drill, and then they've got to run back over and integrate back in with Jacko's squad, then come back over to the first 11. And they're kind of like, not just the ones that like your Leif Davises and your Shackletons that are more first teams, but the other lads have been, even during the training sessions, had their head in two places. I've got to perform like this for the first and then like this for the 23. So it's overall, start to finish to a man, a brilliant season. They should all be proud, really proud.
Yeah, it's
he said that on the Leeds podcast. I listened to that this morning.
Yeah.
Obviously, can't be underestimated what they do for the squad, and the fact that they've got their own success as well probably makes that all seem all the more worth it. So, yeah, obviously, massive congratulations to them, and to know that they've played such a part in how successful the first team has been as well. It's just like an added bonus, isn't it? They've been phenomenal. Actually, really are a credit to the club.
Yeah, I said that.
And how good must it feel for those lads that signed that potentially, look at a Somerville who was getting first 11 football in the Eredivisie, or you look at a Greenwood, Gelhardt, he could have gone to a championship club and probably been starting week in and week out at potentially like a Barnsley or a QPR or someone like that. So those lads must be feeling, right, we made the right decision here. Not only have we come and won silverware, but in some capacity, they will have trained and interacted with first 11 players, whether that's Calvin dropping down or, Costa and the lads that have dropped down, helped with the rehabilitation of now Forshaw, but obviously previously that Berardi. So to feel part of that, of having just signed in your first season as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, must be a really great feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Just to be part of, like you said, those training sessions, and you just suddenly mix in with the Premier League players, and Bielsa's giving you instruction. That must be huge. Like, no disrespect to Jacko,
it must be massive.
He's not Bielsa.
It's going to do wonders for their career, I'm sure. Just to get that experience, It must be great. Like you
Especially
say, Rob, justifying a lot of decisions that a few of the lads have made, because I'm sure, and obviously they would have been set on coming to Leeds and that decision, but I'm sure there were doubts in their mind that, could I go somewhere else and play first team? Could Joffrey have gone to a championship club and played first team?
Yeah, definitely.
But justified a lot of decisions, and obviously brilliant stuff.
And especially because, like we were talking about in last week's episode, which focused on a loan watch. So if anyone hasn't watched that or listened to it yet, give it a check out, because it's quite interesting. But, these lads that are on loan, like your McCalmets, he's doing bits at Oldham still. These guys are wanting
figures this week.
These lads are wanting to come back. Season. So they want to come back off loan, unless you're Mujica, who seems to be having the time of his life playing with horses in Gran Canaria. But the rest of them will probably be wanting to come back and prove a point as well. So I think there'll be some real competition for places in the 23s next year, or the PL2 Division 1.
Imagine that. I said it all season long. I don't think there's any other team that has this sort of togetherness between the two squads. It's one and the same. The players are just completely interchangeable. Like you say, McCallum's going to have to come back and try and work his way into the kind of the Shackleton, Jenkins, that sort of mix. He's going to be one of those players. It's pushing for a first team spot. Huggins as well. They've been there, and it's going to be really tricky for them. Let's do some kind of, rather than ratings, let's do standout players. So obviously Capria, it must be the standout keeper. Van der Hoeven only played one game, and we don't talk about Kiko. So Capria, what do we think of him overall this season? He's been solid, hasn't he? He's got better as the season's gone on, definitely.
He has got a lot better. I think his decision making has come on a lot. I think that was a bit of an issue at the start of the season. Sometimes he seemed a little bit. I think you see it a lot in young keepers. It's not just Capria. They don't want to go long. They want to play football, and every goalkeeper now is a key part of how a team plays out from the back. So he's got to be good with his feet. I think sometimes he just forced it a little bit too much when it wasn't on. Decision making has come on a lot. Are we giving like a rating out of 10 or
yeah, we can do.
Yeah.
Give him a rating.
Capria for me, he's got he's an 8 out of 10 just for how much he's come on along the season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's just been really solid, and he has got better as the season's gone on. What do you reckon to him, Rob?
Yeah, I like him. He's 19 years old. I mean, we've got him contracted till 2023. So listen, for him, there's kind of nothing to lose, because he will have a career in football. He could potentially go back overseas if it doesn't work at Leeds. But I think he's just applying his trade. I think he's probably settled in a bit more as the season's gone on. He seems to have come out of his shell. I mean, this is, some of them have got agencies that do this, so it could be him, I don't know. But his social media certainly is a lot more active in the run into the title than it was like Christmas and before. So, we follow these guys. We're interested to know what's going on with them and how they're integrating. And I like him. I'd probably go 7 out of 10, not 8 out of 10. I think he's still got some decision-making issues. But listen, he's certainly a better choice than Kiko for me. And he's a young lad, so he's got plenty of time to brush up on those little tiny mistakes.
Yeah,
it is a great point, that, Rob, about how coming out of his shell. Obviously, it's not something you can properly judge without knowing him and being around the players all the time, which obviously we're not. But people, even just people like commenting on his posts or him commenting on other people's posts, he seems to have become more integrated into the squad as the season's gone on.
Yeah,
and I think the thing that was it Max Dean that put it on Capriel better than Allison, just stuff like that. And would sort of hint at the fact that he's become more integrated into the squad. Just touching on Van der Heuvel, I thought it was a Wolves game I think he played, and I actually thought it was really good. I've seen a few clips of him playing for the 18s and a few training clips, and I actually think he looks like a very good young keeper.
Yeah,
I did expect to see a little bit more of him, but obviously he's been playing predominantly in the under 18s. Maybe we'll see a bit of him next season.
Yeah, there's a chance Capria maybe makes his way up to the first team, and Van der Heuvel takes over as the 23s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. So rather than grading everyone that's played in defence this season, we've got the kind of the 3 or 4 main guys. Who's been your standout defender this season, Rob?
Since after the red card, which I spoke about on quite a lot of these podcasts, I think Drame. I think after that early red card earlier in the season, he has been the standout defender for me. I think he offers everything that we want in a successor to Luke Ayling. And not to wish Luke out of the club anytime soon, but he's got an engine on him. He's got attacking prowess. He can cut inside. He's linked up with Somerville, Costa, whoever's played on that right hand side with him. He's been able to link up with. He's also got a good kind of. Depends on who drops deep. If we've been playing Kenne in like the Calvin Phillips role, let's say, he also, when he cuts inside, he seems to have just automatically good decision making and good rapport with the players he plays with. I like everything about him. The only thing I thought at the very start of the season was there was an expectation of him coming in for, obviously we signed him, and I thought he was going missing a little bit. But since he came back after the red card, outstanding. You can't fault him. I would say, if we're rating him, 9 out of 10, almost touching 10 out of 10. For me, he's been absolutely brilliant this season.
Yeah, he has been fantastic. Matty, who's been stand out for you in that defence?
Yeah, I can't argue with Drama at all. I think for me, he's probably my player of the season, full stop. Never mind standout defender, he's just my full player of the season. I just think consistency. He's been 7, 8 out of 10 every single week.
Yeah.
He looks set to go up into first team football. I certainly am surprised he's not been on the bench at any point. Physically, he's good. He's strong. He's quick. He's obviously got a great engine, like Rob said. Gets up and down all the time. Good one-on-one defender. Reminds me a lot like Wan-Bissaka in that sense. But then he's got the ability to dribble past players. I'm not sure he's got too many assists, has he? Is it just two or three assists? But
yeah, a couple.
Maybe his final ball he could work on. But in fairness, we don't score a lot of goals from crosses, so it's difficult to expect him to get many assists because we don't have that. We don't have a big one in the middle. We don't really score many. We don't score many headers from crosses. I know Cresswell's got 1 or 2 from set pieces, but not from open play. So it's really difficult to expect Drama to weigh in with too many assists.
Yeah.
But yeah, his crossing's good. His ability to take it past players is good. He's been so consistent. Literally probably not had one bad game. He got the red card, which if he listens, he's definitely absolutely fed up of Rob bringing up the red card nearly every week.
Apologies for bringing that up. To be fair, it wasn't even one of them where he's done a leg breaker of a challenge.
No.
It was just did
he throw the ball at him or something?
Yeah, it's a casual red, but I think before that, my question marks were around he was going missing in games. He showed promise, but he was going missing, and I was thinking, for what we've paid for him, even though he's a young lad, there is an expectation. Not to say I thought he was a bad player at all, but I just thought he was going missing in a couple of games. But then, since he's come back from there, he's been. That's just the moment in my mind where I realised, we've got a baller here. We've got an absolute baller.
Yeah,
he's
sorry about the mention. I'll say next year. Do you know what changed him? It was that red card. When he's playing in the first 11.
Yeah. For me, it's Charlie Cresswell. He has been an absolute rock at centre back. To be 17, 18 years old and be that in control of that entire defence, he has been superb. He's played 20 games, which I think is the most of anyone in the squad. He's the most appearances this season. Also got the most bookings. I like a centre back that gets booked. Shows they're committed to the tackles and want to get after that ball. And he's got a couple of goals from headers, which centre backs need to do. We don't score many from set pieces, so let's if he can be a presence in there and even just cause trouble, he's been fantastic. Along with Casey at centre back, they've been really good. He's played with Stroik as well. He comes down, he's fantastic. But I want to give a little shout out to Jeremiah Mullen as well. He played 2 games, but he's only 16. He's maybe my favourite player I've seen play for under 23s this season. I don't know why.
I've been really impressed with Mullen every time I've seen him. Played against Reading away. I think that was his first game, and I can't remember the second game he played.
Burnley when he just came back, hadn't he?
That's right. Yeah, Burnley away. Yeah,
he's got some skill on the ball.
Brilliant both times, and he was good in the EFL Trophy. I think he played once or twice in that. Very, very good. I think we signed him from Liverpool, so that's that pedigree. He's obviously got a lot of ability. Yeah, another one that we might see more next season.
Yeah,
but it is actually harsh that we've not mentioned Cresswell, Rob, but I just think Drama's consistency, he just has to get it for me. But Cresswell, unbelievable, definitely one of the top performers in the team. Captain as well, captain a winning side that have been so consistent all season. A lot of that comes from your captain. He's a leader. He's very vocal, which is not something you see a lot in young lads.
No,
when you watch the other top young teams, you don't really see that one person taking charge all the time. On the live streams, obviously with no fans in, you can hear his voice constantly. Another thing that I think has really took him to the next level, he's gained a yard of pace. I think a few times I saw him in the under 18s, you thought, right, is he, he's obviously, he's powerful. He was a good leader even back then. He's a good passer, good in the air, always wants to dominate his opponent. But you just thought, is that lack of pace going to let him down? Yeah. He's gained 1 or 2 yards of pace over the last season, which has been massive for his development. So looking at him to be one that is looking at first team football next season, definitely.
Yeah, he could be that fifth centre back that you probably need in Premier League.
He definitely could.
So yeah, that's kind of the defence. I don't think we've missed anyone. The rest of the guys have kind of been in and out. We've played wingers and central midfielders at left back kind of most of the season. Midfielders then, Matty, who's been your standout performer? And there's a lot to pick from here.
I think the easy option is Greenwood, isn't it? But he did play a lot of the season the early parts of the season up front.
Yeah, what we count a 10 as? Is that a striker or a midfielder?
I'm not sure. Probably a midfielder, I think. Yeah. But I'm gonna go Jack Jenkins. Again, another one that's been consistent, played a lot of games. Been looking at moving up to the first team, been on the bench a couple of times. He does everything. He just makes everything look simple. Never overcomplicates things. He can put tackles in. Another one with a great engine. Got his first goal against Villa. Obviously that's something he might want to add to his game a little bit more. Seems to get a little bit of a rush of blood when he gets towards the edge of the box sometimes. But yeah, when he's played in the 4, he's played in the 8. Seems a real integral part of the squad. They always look better with him in the team. Great engine, great passer, good tackler. Just top drawer all season. Another one, when it comes to consistency, there's been him and Drama really the most consistent performers, and Gellart as well. Just superb. So yeah, Jenkins for me, and probably another 9 out of 10.
Yeah, he has been fantastic every time I've seen him play. You say, improving the finishing, maybe that's the only weak spot, but yeah, he's 19 years old. That'll come, I suppose. Rob, what about for you?
It was a toss-up, actually. I like Jenkins a lot. I think he was probably the one that first came to mind. But when I sat and thought about it, and just my own personal reactions to when I see him play, I think I'm going to go for McKinstry.
Yeah.
I think 17 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's reliable whether you play him in the centre or he drifts out left. I think I've actually been most impressed with him. I don't remember which game it was, so apologies, but I think it was one of the games that Leif Davis dropped down to left back and he was played more out to the left with him. And again, just the interlinking play, the vision, an emotional maturity on the ball, which a lot of these guys have, and they're so young, just talking then 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. I mean,
yeah,
it's a different level. And I know that they're professional athletes and this is what their career is aiming at, but wow, such talent. Definitely going to be a future Scotland international for me, 100%. I hope obviously he fulfills that with us. But for me, I think from the midfield, because I would class Greenwood as further as an advancing player, but I'm going to go for McKinstry.
Yeah, I think McKinstry was kind of the guy I was looking at as well, because he has played so many positions, and I don't know, just something about a Leeds Scottish midfielder that it's ticking all the right boxes for me. That is, and like I say, he was one.
David Hodkin.
Well, yeah, the most handsome man in football. He was like the players we mentioned earlier. He could have stayed in Scotland, and he probably would have played first team football for Motherwell this season.
Yeah.
With that talent, he could have been a first team player there easily. But no, he took a chance, came down to us, and yeah, he's been really, really good, and he's filled in a couple of positions. I like him when he plays left wing. Central midfield. We've got some really exciting prospects in that position. Matty, who's it? Oh, you've done yours, haven't you? Any other standouts we want to mention? We haven't really mentioned Huggins, and he's kind of played everywhere this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, Huggins, the Stuart Dallas of the 23s.
He is, yeah.
Right back, left back, midfield. Huggins has been excellent.
They've all been excellent.
They've all been, they have all been excellent. I think Greenwood, if you're classing him as a midfielder, a close second to Jenkins for me. Then you've got McKinstry.
Somerville,
Noah Kenner brilliant when he played. He's obviously played at the back as well.
Do you know what I would class Ken as? And I think for me, the most improved player. Like as the season's gone on, I think he's just got better and better and better.
People always say that's the award you give to just the shit lad who. Oh yeah, you're quite bad. But you can have most improved.
I remember speaking on this podcast about him, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I was so impressed with his performance because, again, another young lad. He's not had as many appearances as the others. He's only started 10 games. But I think when he's played, I think he's improved. I'd class him as one of the most improved players we've got in the squad.
Another one that's really young, obviously, Kenner. I think, I don't know what episode it was, but I said he's the biggest prospect that we have. I think, in terms of someone that could play for the first team for a long time or could make us a lot of money in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I think Kenner is one of the biggest prospects that we have at this club alongside Gellart and, Greenwood, Somerville. Kenner's up there for me because he's young. He's so powerful. He reads the game so well. He can tackle. He can run with the ball. He can play centre half.
What club now doesn't want a Calvin Phillips, a Declan Rice, and Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester?
Yeah.
They all want a Kante at Chelsea. They all want that kind of positional player to be moulded into the ball giver, solidifier in front of the defence, vision of what's going on the field in front of just the all-rounder, the CDM.
Exactly. It's massive, isn't it? It's massive in football. It's like there's always like trends in there of what everybody wants. So a couple of years ago, it was fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
When Man City started playing how they do with, advanced fullbacks, everyone wanted attacking fullbacks. Man City spent like 200 million on fullbacks. Yeah. And then now it's just that holding midfield role. It's like a trend and everybody wants one. And Kenner, looking up to Calvin Phillips with that big physical presence that he's already got, so much natural ability, he really does have potential to be a top holding midfielder.
Yeah, definitely.
And 100% for me will go on to be a Premier League player. I think it's a shame that he's not had so many games. Hopefully that improves next year, but it's so difficult, when Cox obviously been playing that position when he come back from injury. Forshaw's had to play last week. Phillips played once or twice.
Phillips after the suspension. Phillips came down, didn't he?
Yeah. And then you've got Jenkins playing so well. So obviously it's very difficult to manage and get Kenner the games that he needs. But I think next season he needs to be looking at playing 15, 20 games as opposed to 10 starts. I think
we need to extend him as well. He's one of the lads that runs out next year, not 23. So he's got one more calendar year, let's say, from now till next year. So if I was Orta or the squad, I'm sure they are, I'd look at extending him pronto before he does slip through our fingers, and like you say, he's a future star. So
they're pretty good at tying these kids down. Long term.
I'm sure that'll get sorted. It'll probably be in the pipeline already.
If you put any sort of credence into Football Manager, knowing Kenner and Joe Gellart are the two wonder kids in the league squad. So they're normally pretty good with that. They don't miss very often. Strikers then. I mean, there's one obvious one. Are we all saying Joe Gellart?
Yeah,
it's got to be, hasn't it?
He's some talent, this boy. He's
ridiculous.
He's been on the bench Premier League games recently, and there wouldn't have been a huge drop off, I don't think, if he had come onto the pitch. No. He would do the running Bamford does, and no discredit to Bamford, but I think he's probably a better natural finisher as well, which Bamford's improved incredibly. But that's Gellhart's shirt in a couple of years, if not 2 years from now. He's been absolutely outstanding.
A level above. Just straight up a level above. The best player I've seen in the division. Obviously a lot of talented players, a lot of England youth internationals. You've got even just that last Villa game, Louis Barry, the signing from Barcelona. Just top class day. He's played against first team centre halves. The two centre halves for Villa, two first team centre halves. Like while Gellart was on the pitch, they didn't touch him. Obviously he won the penalty. A hat trick the other week against West Brom. Some brilliant goals, some moments of magic. The goal of Crystal Palace at home, just dancing through players and slotting in the bottom corner.
Yeah,
he uses his body so well. He's strong. He's not a big lad. He's not tall, but he's built well. He uses his body well, and that we've said a few times that obviously comes from when he played in the Championship with Wigan, played first team football. But yeah, I mean, the Wayne Rooney comparisons before he signed, just spot on. It really just does remind me of a young Wayne Rooney. The build, the movement, the great feet, the finishing ability, spot on. The best player in the division, and he will be one of the best players in Division 1 next year as well.
Yeah.
Just spot on. Just what a player. It's almost too good to be true that we've got him for £1 million.
£1 million.
And I do actually, I've got a mate that's a Wigan fan, and you know, I actually do feel sorry for Wigan, the situation that they were in. You know, he should have been someone they were selling for 5-10 million.
Yeah, like when we sold Fab Delph. Like they could have got that money from him easily.
Yeah.
But we
they got Aztec stripped, didn't they?
Yeah. Their loss, obviously, our gain. And as much as I definitely wouldn't change it, I just do feel a bit sorry for Wigan. But yeah, we've done well there. Great scouting again. And I can't wait to see him in Division 1. Just honestly, what a player.
Rob,
it will take for me something to go insanely wrong or some personal circumstances to go awry for Gelhardt and Greenwood not to be Leeds 9 and 10 in 2 to 3 years' time. I don't see why that they won't be our 9 and 10. I agree with everything Matty said. I think Gelhardt is the best player in that division this year. Technically, his ability is fantastic. Yeah. The Rooney comparisons, he's done what he needed to do. He's come in, he's scored goals. He's not let the pressure get to him. He's developed, he's come along. You know, his game's improved as well, I'm sure he'll say. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I hope he gets some first team minutes. I know Bielsa doesn't like to just blood people in for the sake of it. But I hope he gets some first team minutes before the season finishes. So I know we're mathematically technically safe now, but I hope he gets brought on. And
he'll play him against Scum this weekend now, just to shut us all up. Yeah, just bring him on at half time.
He is the player of the season. I think he should win the player of the season award. But you know, not to take anything away from Greenwood either. I think Greenwood's filled in where he's needed to. He's dropped deeper. He's played as an 8. He's played as a 10. But I think those two guys have got that scream the future of Leeds United's attacking
England
prowess.
Well.
Yeah, and
English. Gelhardt will definitely play for England.
Yeah.
You know, obviously top player.
They're 18.
And what a story that would be! What a story! I mean, I know they're not Leeds lads. We've signed them both in, but you know, to come through the academy and then break through, you know, with the way we play at the minute, if Bielsa sticks around and their development continues the way it does, you know. Patrick Bamford's done really well, but he's not going to stay hot forever. He has got an ability to go missing. He hasn't scored for a few. Nothing against Patrick Bamford. I think he's proved me and many people wrong this season. But longer term, the longer term succession of replacing what many consider championship quality, upper end championship quality players with either youth that's going to be world class or foreign talent or homegrown talent that's signed in externally from other clubs. I think we've got two sat in the under-23s right there, Gelhardt and Greenwood. They're just waiting. Same as Drame. Those three, I would have not even break a sweat if I saw their name on the subs bench or the first 11 team sheet. Yeah, I think
it's definitely something to be said. You know, something that we've praised a lot of the season: the attitude of the players and the maturity. Gelhardt has gone from playing first team football for Wigan, come to the 23s, being on the bench a lot for the first team and not got on. Literally, it's been like a walk in the park for him sometimes in the 23s. But that desire and the attitude to, you know, still apply himself every single week, to run and run and run every single week, and to still show that quality and willingness to get on the ball and just do his thing. Not once has there ever been a sign of him going, oh, yeah, I'm too good for this 23s. Yeah. I'm going to be in the first team soon. And, you know, just seeing that drop in performance, that's not uncommon for young lads to show that type of attitude. But the attitude that Gelhardt's shown, again, just contributes to him being a level above. I know we always say we don't want to big these lads up too much, but I mean, Gelhardt, just top quality. What else
they look like they've had fun. They look like they've genuinely had fun playing football, and with everything that's been going on this week, and we talk about the corporatization of football, and let's not get into that on this podcast, but they genuinely look like a group of lads between the age of 16 to 22, 23 years old, you know, various points in their times, that have integrated well, that have shown desire, work ethic, a calm, cool head on their shoulders under pressure, delivered brilliance, showed flashes of excellence, entertained thousands, by the way, of people tuning in on social media, Twitter, Facebook, as well as YouTube, and won a title whilst wearing a smile on their face. So it's really pleasing, really pleasing.
Yeah. I mean, even when Greenwood and Gohart do move up to the first team, we've got Charlie Allen, we've got Max Dean, there's players there ready to just come in and just score more goals for us.
Kuhn's going to come back and score every week.
Be 27 years old.
Definitely deserve a shout, actually. Charlie Allen and Max Dean, 218 players.
Yeah, Max Dean's got 4 and 8 for 23s.
Max Dean's going to be a great player, and Allen as well, very technically gifted. And again, 2 players. We've just got so many players that you're saying, I've said it 4 or 5 times already. I'm like, he needs to play next season. He needs to play next season. And then you've got the lads coming back on loan that are going to play. Then you've got any first team players that might get injured and need to play. Yeah. It's really difficult to to manage, and that's why Mark probably more than any of the players needs a lot of credit, and Bielsa as well, of course. It's been so difficult to manage at times, and they've just got it spot on, haven't they? Between them at Thorpe Arch, between Bielsa and Mark Jackson and his staff, Bielsa's staff, they've all just got it spot on. And the players as well have helped that by being mature and not throwing. There's been no strops for players that haven't been getting a game. Just spot on.
Now, when the subs, I've not seen one player kick a water bottle, look annoyed when they've got, even if they're feeling like when they've come off at 45 minutes so someone can get game, or had to sit on I think after performances where they've been 9 or 10 out of 10 star players, then the next week, right, I've got to sit on the bench because Calvin's coming down, or I've got to sit on the bench because Costa needs minutes. Not one sort of mardy look on their face, not one negative interview, not one social media post that's questionable. They've been professional. And I think when we did that thing with marching out together and we spoke to the development people at the academy that look after the player welfare across all ages in the academy, they need credit as well, because we're in a pandemic. They've done all this in the middle of a pandemic with no fans in the crowd, even if it's just like friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, partners, loved ones, relatives that come to the stadium to watch them, probably a lack of that as well, because regulations around people
just coaches,
in the they've just got on with playing football and done it really well.
They've been absolutely spot on, like I say. Throughout the club, everybody involved with the 23s, literally everybody in the club, they've just got it spot on. They've just done so well, and that's all there is to say, really. They've just got it. They've done it perfectly. They've just got it absolutely spot on, and it's absolute credit to the club. And obviously, they've got a trophy to show for it as well, so it won't be forgotten. So. Yeah, just brilliant. It's been brilliant to watch.
Yeah.
Looking forward, I had a question for you. Matty, maybe you're probably better positioned to answer this, just to throw it out there question. With the attention and buzz that this team has got this year and all the plaudits around it, rightly so, when we move up a division next year and hopefully we're all back in stadiums to watch it, do you think that Angus will look to commercially capitalise on this? Where do you think we're going to be playing our home games, basically, is what I was going to say. Which stadium do you think will provide an opportunity to still have fans there but stay local, like we've previously used different stadiums? Where do you see us playing next year?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously, it needs to be somewhere fairly local to Thorpe Arch. Tadcaster's probably a good shout, but they have problems with the pitch sometimes.
Where did Donny play these days? Keepmoat still, was it?
Keepmoat,
Play that big stadium for him.
I don't know. It's probably stupid of the club to not try and, commercially benefit from all the interest that the 23s have gained. I'm not sure what the broadcasting rights are like for, if in the next division. I'm not too sure, but obviously a big opportunity for the club to make some money from it. And definitely people, obviously we've had it free this year, so sometimes don't go down well when something goes from being free and then you have to pay for it. But I don't think people could really complain if they said, it's going to be a fiver, even a fiver a game for the 23s. It's been worth it, and they're playing against better opposition as well. Yeah. It definitely would be worth it. So if the club listen to this and they start charging people for it,
there's some rivalry. I expected fully that they're going to, you don't just take 8,000 to 10,000 people watching on social media channels and miss out on that. I think they've got plans to do it. I just hoped that potentially there would be some benefit to the local community. That was the point of me asking that question. I was thinking, what stadium could we use where people can go and watch for fairly priced tickets that also benefits either a local community club or a club that's got a stadium that's ample for, because Manchester United at home with the 23s, you know what's going to happen on a day like that. There's going to be a crowd there. You're not talking 100 people. There's going to be a decent sized crowd.
What's that York stadium like? That they've got a new stadium, haven't they? York. I think the 23s have played there before. Then there's Guiseley in there. We've played there before.
Yeah.
But then you're looking at, and I don't want to turn my nose up at low league football. You're looking at the quality of the pitches.
That's the issue.
If these players are going to be playing football league or playing in the Premier League, what is the point? It's just spat everywhere. What is the point in?
What is the point? Spit on your mic. What's the point?
I know, yeah. What is the? Absolutely disgusted by low league pitches.
All right, Jamie Carragher, calm down.
Wednesday will be in League One next season, so we need the extra income. So we're going to play at Hillsborough, shall we?
Let's go play there.
They might need the
money.
Yeah,
I just think then you get to that issue about quality of pitches, and are they better off just playing at Thorpe Arch? Is there something they could do with Thorpe Arch? Could they get a stand in at Thorpe Arch? There's I don't know if you've been recently, but there's like the 4G pitch. So when you first go in, there's the pitch on your right, which we play on a lot of the time. Then there's like a big row of trees, and then the 4G pitch. Could you get a little stand in there, just to hold, 5,000-6,000, if that. But obviously there's a lot of opportunities, and the club have got a job on to try and make it work. But there's a big opportunity to either make a lot of money ourselves or give back to a local club. But then I just think the pitches could be an issue.
That is the sticky point, isn't it? They probably wouldn't want us there anyway with our terrible opinions.
Like you said there, Rob, there's no way the commercial director and Victor and Angus are not seeing the 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people watching online and not going to kind of do something with this. Like even get them.
I think if you do it at Thorpe Park, I think what they've got to weigh up is the digital aspect. Obviously, I know I was very much against it because I just thought in this division, PL2 Division 2, every other club does it except Palace. Palace charged us. But maybe that's the model they go down. Also, not giving them too many ideas, but it could drive subscriptions to LUTV as well. Because if you charge $1.99 a game, there's a lot of people that will watch it, especially if the kickoff times are lunchtime. You can't. I for example, couldn't drive up to Thorpe Arch or to Guiseley or everywhere to watch the games on a weekday at that time. But I can sit whilst I'm working in the office and watch it streamed. Yeah. So I think they'll weigh up. I think we'll probably see a hybrid of Thorpe Arch, also local stadiums where there's big key fixtures where they can make a ticket money. But I think we'll probably see a pay subscription model of $1.99 a month or something like that for the games. And But then in response to that, if anyone from the club is listening, we expect quality content. Do you know what I mean? If you're paying for it, then we want more access to the 23s. You want player interviews. You want, the same things that you focus on for the 11s. Yeah. You want give the fans digital content that's relevant for what they're paying for, because there's a clambering for it. And if the club get it right, it's not going to be seen as a money-making scheme or a scam. They can give people a fair content-based package for £2 a month that lets them watch the 23s, staying connected with the club, and I just think that's a subscription model they could look at.
Yeah, I already pay 99p a month for the LUC
your
radio.
Phone that just beeped then, Rob? Was that your phone that just beeped?
It did. Sorry, it's Angus. He wants to talk about
Angus texting you. He's listening.
Shut up, you dick. I already pay for the LUTV radio stuff, so stick another £1 on that. It's 99p a week. I'll pay £2 a month. That's a week. That's not a problem. That's money you don't even realise that is. So again,
a quick, easy way in for the club. Good PR. Invest some of that back into the changes that they want to see in the academy. So if we've got, I know there's millions of pounds floating about with Premier League money, but if you're taking, you could say to fans, 25p of your subscription per week goes towards, volunteer staff that come down to Thorpe Arch and, all the ground staff, because we spoke on this podcast about every single element of this club being a community and contributing. Obviously, it's the players and the coaching staff and Mark Jackson that deliver the results. But, there's a lot of people that help out there, the kit guys, the people that scrub the security guards that get anything. You could put something back into it and really make a 23 squad that is community focused as well. Yeah.
And make us the official under 23 podcast. we'll give you live streams and that sort of stuff. We can do that job. We don't need Emma.
Non-monetized. I'll turn up for free.
We can still have 2 games to play. We better talk about the Fulham game quickly, I suppose. They're doing not very well. They're down the bottom of the table almost. We're going to win, aren't we? Should be easy, boys.
It was 7-1 last time, wasn't it? So yeah, let's just have another one. Let's just have another couple of 7-1s to see out the season.
Yeah, let's go out in style.
They actually do have a couple of decent players for them. They've got that Cavallero guy. I think he's second. I think he's the second top scorer in the division after Gellar. Yeah. Good little player.
We missed a penalty in that game as well. It could have been
8-1. Did we? I don't even remember.
We missed a penalty, yeah.
Wow. But yeah, got to be looking at another win, obviously, to see out the game, to see out the season with 2 more wins.
Yeah,
there's got to be the aim, and these players have got to maintain a high level performance because they're looking at getting in the first team. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to see a drop. Like Ross said, they can't drink anyway. A lot of them are too young, so should be no hangovers from the Villa game. Yeah. No Creswell, so we might see Kenner play. We might see Mullen play.
Yeah, centre back position up for grabs.
Opportunities, I'm sure, for the younger lads to get a game as well in the last couple. I think Max Dean's back fit. So I might see him in. Yeah, obviously looking forward to it and see. They've played with freedom all year, so I literally wouldn't expect to see no change. It's not like they've been really tight and compact and really scared to make a mistake all season. So now they've won the league, it's going to be free flowing football. It's been free flowing football all season. They're disciplined, they're motivated by first team opportunities. And obviously the demand, it's Leeds United, there's a demand for a performance every single game. So I wouldn't expect to see a drop. I want us to go and beat Fulham. And I want us to round off the season with two more wins.
Yeah, there we go. Rob, victory?
Yeah, 4-0.
Nice. Yeah, a comprehensive victory. I'm going for
solid
4+. I'll be placing my bet on, basically. There we go. Then that is the end of this week's Roaring Peacock Youth Podcast. We'll be back next week with a review of the Fulham victory. Look ahead to the Burnley game, which is the final game in the Premier League Division 2. And yeah, maybe we'll have some special guests. Maybe we'll get some player profiles going again before the end of the season. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we will be back. You can find us on Twitter at Peacocks Raw. You can find us on YouTube at The Roaring Peacock. Make sure you're subscribed. Please watch all the adverts. They're brilliant adverts on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and watch all of them. Click on the links for them as well. It's great. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. So it's goodbye from me. You can find me on Twitter at Rossbo1984. It's goodbye from Rob. And where can they find you?
At JUCEEROB. I just wanted to give a quick shout to a pinned tweet that's on my Twitter feed, which I'm going to finish, I promise, this week. I've been threatening to. So for any first-time listeners or listeners that haven't seen the back catalogue, we have a back catalogue of episodes where we do player profiles. We've looked at, obviously, some match reviews, which technically will be out of date, but they are a good listen, if I do say so myself. So give them a view, give them a watch, like, comment, subscribe, and tell us what content you want to see.
Yeah, 13 episodes up there. This will be the 14th. And Matty, it's goodbye from you. And where can they find all your stuff?
At Matty_Ingham17. And then for all your academy stuff, at LUFC Academy News. Been a bit dead on the site the last couple of weeks. I've been busy with uni and things like that. And also with pubs being reopened, I've been a little bit preoccupied. But we'll be back with some written content on the Fulham game. And, just like you can leave us suggestions for any YouTube videos you want us to do, especially in the off-season. Leave me any suggestions for any written articles. I'm happy to do player reviews. Literally anything you want to see. So just drop me a direct message and we'll get that done for you. Same with the podcast. Obviously, any ideas, just leave it in the comments.
Yeah, we're kind of open on this podcast. We'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about.
Especially over the summer, there'll be a gap, won't there? We won't have the match reviews. So yeah, over the summer, we'll be looking for content. Honestly, just let us know.
Yeah, definitely.
Drop it in the comments. Any ideas?
Yeah, there you go. So you can find us on all those places. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next time.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart, Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your